Good evening, everyone, and thanks for coming out. Right, so this is my hat from my first Peace Corps tour, which was 3 years in Romania, in Transylvania. And at the end of 3 years, I was like, this is my ticket to Africa. Like, I can't leave the Peace Corps now. I have a chance to have the classic Peace Corps experience of mud huts and lugging my own water, because in Romania I had high-speed internet in my house. So I managed to make it to Africa, and Africa is an experience that is singular, I think, in the world, in which you have no safety net. And my main concern was transportation. But the people there have the most incredible attitude, and they're the most smilingest, like, friendly continent. And I think it's only if you've been there that you can really understand. But my story concerns a mugging, and the question that I'd like to start with is if you've ever had an incredible day, an incredible moment, and then right after that, it hits you some just crap out of nowhere, you know? So I had arrived in country, and during PST, which is pre-service training, they taught us how to take a shower out of a bucket, for example. You know, you got to get in there, and it was funny, the volunteer came in bathing suit and everything, and he had the bucket, and it's this, you know? You splash it onto yourself. And so I'd been doing that. It was great with my host family. I had these two little red frogs that would come into the shower every morning. I called them Sam and Sam because I could never tell which one was which. So they both had the same name. Right, so it was very simple living with the host family, and then we finally had the big adventure of going to our site, and I was very excited because mine had a canoe crossing, a wooden canoe crossing. I was in a small village, and there were monkeys that were everywhere. So it was excellent. And after 3 months at site, we had MST, lots of acronyms in Peace Corps. And so that was a mid-service training. So we are thrilled because after, what was it, 2 months of PST and then 3 months at our site, finally we have like a hotel, right? So this is like first class living, and it's a shower, and a hot shower, you know? And so I get in the shower, and I start doing this, and I'm like, what am I doing? I just have to stand. This is great. And the buffet is incredible. It's really a luxurious surrounding. We're on this little island of luxury in Chimoio, the city. And so it's wonderful seeing everyone, and we're giving presentations about our experiences at site and how well we're integrating and so forth, and it's a wonderful bonding experience. And then we get into all of the training sessions like health and safety and security, and it's a very long day, it's a very long 3-day conference, and finally we're at the last session, right? And so the session gives out safety and security, and all of this stuff that I got from many trainings through Romania, 3 years in Romania, all about know your surroundings. So I'm considering myself extremely well versed in all of this, and considering myself very well prepared. And me and Derek and David go out in the city, and I said, I've been hearing that there is the Cabeça do Velho, the old man's head. It's a mountain, and it's actually very close to the center of town. You can walk to it. It wasn't originally on our itinerary. We were just sort of walking around, going to some of the markets, and I said, you guys want to do this? And they were up for it. And we're feeling like really adventurous, like it was 5 o'clock, the sun was still high in the sky, and we're 3 guys, and we finished with this whole conference, and we're feeling our oats, and so we're going through the markets, and then we're going through the yam fields, and we're climbing the mountain, and then we see some girls on this, I suppose it was the chin of the head, and they're singing, right? So we're like, oh, let's sing back to them. So we sang the only Mozambican song that we knew, which was the national anthem sung every day at all the schools, which is
Moçambique, nossa terra gloriosa, pedra a pedra construindo novo dia, milhões de braços. And then they sang back to us, uma essa força, a pátria amada. And then together, vamos vencer. And it was a brilliant, cool, exciting experience. And we marched on. It was another 100 yards or so to the top. And there was just a beautiful vista of surrounding Chimoio. And I talked to the guys, right, because I'm a veteran at this point. I've been in the Peace Corps, 3+ years. And I'm like, guys, there's something called like the Peace Corps moment where you're just in it, In Mozambique, it was when I was with my host sisters and my little host sister Tashira, who's 6, and my 2 host brothers who I took running with me, who were 14 and 15, and we were all dancing under this bare light bulb to Michael Jackson for just hours. Another experience in Romania was picking grapes and pressing them for wine, and another experience was just crossing the river next to my village when the stars had come out, and it was just like a Venetian sort of canoe ride, the beautiful constellations of the Southern Cross. And I was like, guys, this is like one of those Peace Corps moments. We're in the moment, we're in it. And they're like, yeah. So like, all right, sunset, let's go. So we start back down, and some guy standing there in like a trench coat. He's like, you guys got a cigarette? No, maybe don't smoke. And then suddenly 2 guys on the left and right, it's like, oh, it's a holdup. So they pull out of their big coats, machetes, and they're like, all right, give us your loot. So then they run off, and we continue on down the mountain, and fortunately we're okay. So we get back, and everyone's having dinner, right? And I'm like, guys, let me do the talking. So I'm like, guys, you're not going to believe it, right? Last session of the day, what is it? Safety and security. We're out there, guess what happened? We got mugged, right? They're like, oh my gosh, what happened? I said, well, we're coming down the mountain, right? And some guy asked us for a cigarette, and we said we didn't have any, and then there's 2 other guys. And David, he's really mild-mannered, right? I said, yeah. I said, you wouldn't believe it. He grabbed this one guy by the lapels, just picked him up and threw him. And then like Derek, he just kneed the guy right in the stomach. He's down on the ground, dry heaving. Their mouths are open like, oh my gosh. I took the other guy and I just slapped him like a, And they're on the ground sobbing, and we just felt so terrible. We just took all our money and things and just threw them on like here, So they gather our money up and just crying and snotting themselves ran off. And I'm like, oh, no, seriously what happened? And the Peace Corps is great. They're incredible. They gave Derek back the money that he'd taken out from the ATM machine, his salary. They restored me my USB stick that I lost. And David got like a new camera. And, I didn't really feel bitter about it because I lost the fewest possessions, but also because we were staying in a beautiful hotel, and where were they sleeping? I saw poverty in Romania, but none like I'd seen in Mozambique, and it's incredible how few possessions they have, and how I was on Craigslist. There's the Craig's free list, the free section on Craigslist, and there's just such wealth in our country. And over there, oh my gosh, I have a keychain. Do you want a keychain? Oh my gosh, a keychain. I gave out a free pen to one of my students. They were like, I saw a student have her pen stolen, and she was just cutting this guy down for having stolen her pen. They have no thing, so I was like, you know what? We're clearly ending up a lot better off than these guys who robbed us. So I guess the moral of the tale is that there's nothing risked, there's nothing gained. We all go into the Peace Corps for an adventure and to experience life without a safety net the way that the people who we're working with and training live, in the hopes of making the world a smaller place. So I'm so thankful for that adventure, and that I came out in one piece and have a tale to tell. Thank you.